I will call the regular meeting of the Lisle Park District Board of Park Commissioners to order on Thursday, March 21st, 2024 at 7 p.m. Dan, can I get a roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Hummel,
Here.
Commissioner Wessel,
Here.
and Commissioners Tapella and Dombrowski are in waiting, I guess, and President Alpeter.
Here. Pledge of allegiance, will stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now entertain a motion to permit Commissioners Dombrowski and Tapella's attendance at the March 21st, 2024 meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners by remote means in accordance with Section 7 of the Open Meetings Act and the Lisle Park District remote attendance policy.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
For any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, Dan?
Sure. Commissioner Hummel.
Aye.
Commissioner Wessel,
Aye.
President Alpeter.
Aye, motion passes. Can you please state your names, that you're now attending the meeting remote?
Terry and Jason, can you hear? Just,
Just roll call them.
oh yeah, oh, I'm sorry, yes, I, Commissioner Dombrowski,
Yes, can Commissioner Dombrowski here?
thank you, and then Commissioner Tapella.
Oh.
Oop,
You're-
unmute.
Commissioner Tapella present.
Right, thank you.
All right. Presentations, Jason would like to introduce, the new recreation program manager of athletics and fitness, Zach Price.
I'll take it. So good evening, Superintendent Pratcher. Yeah, I'm happy to introduce Zach Price, who's in attendance. Zach, you can come up to the podium if you'd like. Zach started with the district on February 12th. He is our newly hired manager of athletics and fitness, not aquatics yet.
Surprise.
So even though it's only been a few weeks, Zach's already hit the ground running and contributed in a really great way. From building the curriculum for our brand new summer sports camp to helping out at a variety of events, and just his overall demeanor and approach, he's made an impact already. And in fact, after his introduction here, he's going to be heading over to the museum where he'll be dressing up as the bunny for our adult egg hunt this evening. So again, doing a lot to contribute to the team and the park district as a whole. You're really lucky and proud to have Zach on our team. It's going to accomplish a lot of great things, and I look forward to seeing all that he accomplishes already, or that he will accomplish. And I guess if you'd like to say a few words to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, John. I really appreciate that. I'd like to thank the staff we have here, Dan, John, Jason, everybody else, as well as our Board of Commissioners for the opportunity. I'm Zach Price. I'm your new Recreation Manager of Athletics and Fitness. I was born and raised just a little bit north in Glen Ellen, so I'm very familiar with the area, spent most of my time here. Currently reside in Carroll Stream with my wife, dog, and cat. Prior to taking this opportunity with the Lisle Park District, I was with the Park District of LaGrange as their athletics manager. And prior to that, I was with the Lamont Park District as a recreation supervisor, overseeing a handful of things. I'm super grateful for this opportunity. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon for the Lisle Park District. Post master plan, there's a lot of exciting stuff on the docket. And working with John and a little bit with Jason, unfortunately, not for too much longer, but I'm sure you guys have spoken about that. A whole lot of exciting things, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Look forward to working. We'll let you off to your.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No questions?
No question.
Uh-huh.
We'll let you go to the hunt.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks,
Nice to meet
Zach.
you.
On public comment, visitors are welcome to address the Board of Park Commissioners. You are asked to raise your hand and wait to be recognized by the board president. When recognized, please move to the lectern, speak into the microphone, and state your name, address, and the item you wish to discuss. It is requested that one spokesperson for a group be appointed to present the views of the entire group, rather than have multiple individuals with similar opinions. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker. Is there any public comment this evening? Right, we'll come to the podium. Staff.
Hi, I'm Vitas Matulauskas, resident of Lisle from Abbeywood Park.
With the Park District Board elections approximately 1 year away, I have reviewed Park District Board packet and identified several important points. It specifies that a board member should demonstrate an attitude of cooperation, objectivity, and the board should work collaboratively with executive rather than bypassing or overriding him. However, the current situation in my Lisle district starkly contrasts these principles. My concerns specifically address the limitation imposed by the board on Director Dan Garvey last August, which prevented him from making any modifications to the existing pickleball setup at Abbeywood Park. In my previous multiple communications with the board, I highlighted a variety of options available to improve the quality of life for the residents of Abbeywood Park. Notably, in 2021, 3 board members voted to convert the Abbeywood tennis courts into pickleball courts without adequate due diligence. By now, it was acknowledged many times that was a mistake. Mistakes have to be fixed if means are available, yet this board decided that they do not want and they do not need to fix their own mistake. Will the city zoning director, Mike Smetana, be correct by predicting that the only way to make any improvements in Abbeywood is to defeat the current biased commissioners in an election? Rationale behind the decision to restrict Dan Garvey from making any minor changes remains unclear to me. However, it appears that the board may be attempting to retaliate against the residents for voicing their concerns. This issue is rapidly escalating into a significant matter of potential bias, infringement of civil rights, and potential discrimination. If it is determined that it's intentional retaliation, it could be a violation of constitutional and human rights protection. It is crucial to note that there is no connection between Abbeywood Park and Tatewood Park development, as no promises, commitments have been made regarding the development of Tatewood Park in relation to Abbeywood. Therefore, I formally request the immediate lifting of any restrictions placed on Dan Garvey that prevent him from making minor pickleball-related changes at Abbeywood Park. Additionally, I would like to ask 3 board members that voted to make changes to Abbeywood Tennis Resurfacing Project on July 2021 to recuse themselves or abstain from making any decisions or recommendations related to Abbeywood Park pickleball issues. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda as submitted for Thursday, March 21st, 2024.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Tepella, second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote here?
Sure. Commissioner Wessel? Aye. Commissioner Tepella?
Aye.
Commissioner Dombrowski?
Aye.
Commissioner Hummel?
No.
President Alpeter?
Aye. Right. Moving on, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items, A through G, inclusive of the March 2024 voucher list in the amount of $316,879.38. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Commissioner Hummel?
Aye.
Commissioner Wessel? Aye. Commissioner Tepella?
Aye.
Commissioner Dombrowski?
Aye.
President Alpeter?
Aye, motion passes. Communications, saw submitted in our board packet, the IDNR Office of Grant Award announcement, which we all know is very exciting. For all the work staff has put into that, to work with partners to get that done. Being said, we next on our agenda is the Centennial Committee.
Sure. As required by that act, this should, needs to be a separate agenda item and can be conducted as part of the regular meeting. We do have our 2 resident citizen members, Mr. Les Lavin and Ms. Susan Ross. in the audience, and if it's okay, I'd invite them to come up and sit in the vacant seats here. That's okay? Watch your step over that cord there, sorry. It's a booby trap.
Just, just so that you both know, as a reminder, you are.
Thank you.
I know, it just feels a good reminder.
So by way of a further introduction, if that's okay, this has been reported previously, but we have a draft report. It was prepared, a template which was prepared by the Illinois Association of Park Districts for its member agencies to use as it prepares a report that will ultimately be submitted to DuPage County. In this report that you all have, the Park District team has put in a lot of information relative to each of the points that the IAPD recommends, including in the report. I did get some initial feedback from Commissioner Hummel, and then staff went through it a second time. So I did add, and I believe I sent that out to the group the other day. Some minor changes and amendments, reduction, like eliminations of things that maybe weren't completely clear or couldn't be tied out to factual data. So what's presented here is just for talking points and to spark some discussion on thoughts on how we can improve, what we can add, other things to consider as we work to finalize this report in the next few months.
Great, I commend staff for putting this together. So many of the policies, as I know I had mentioned, one of the conference sessions today, went to one of the attorneys who worked on this actually.
Did you need I'm sorry, do you need hard copies? Do you want a hard?
I need a hard copy.
Yeah, here.
That one of the attorneys that did facilitate the session had said that, you know, pretty much for large and in part in the western suburbs, this is largely what we're already doing. Districts are doing, where rural communities don't do this due diligence, which is kind of how this got started. Sorry, maybe. But that was one of the things that was discussed, is that by and large, you know, a lot of these things are things we're already doing. It's just formalizing them and calling note and attention to what we are doing, and policies and procedures we already have. Questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
None of this was reinventing.
No, it was just a matter of trying to grab everything we can recall. We sat around as a team and brainstormed on everything we do, and kind of just did a brain dump really in all these things here. So that's, I would just suggest or recommend it. I don't know if you want to go section by section or what kind of, how much detail you want to get into this, but again, anything that may have prompted some other ideas or opportunities for us to explore, that's what we're here for.
Dan, you may have said this in a previous conversation I had, or maybe it was written somewhere, but did something like this already exist and this is an update of it, or is this the first time that this kind of information was actually put into a document?
This is the first time this exercise. Now, there was a former draft of this that we've been working on for the last few months. But yeah, what you're looking at essentially is the first official draft, so to speak. And I don't know what other organizations or agencies, because library districts and other special purpose districts are required to do the same thing. But I don't know what the level of detail their reports have. This one, I'm very grateful. I know a lot of park district directors are grateful for the state association to pull this together, because I think, like the sport spoke about in May a year ago, some confusion on the purpose behind it and everything, and that this is, I think Commissioner Dombrowski said it best, isn't this things we should be doing every month anyway? And I would argue, yes, it is. But if this is another one of those unfunded mandates we need to do, then so be it.
And it's an exercise for every 10 years? Is that about right?
Supposedly,
Okay.
supposedly. But when asked, you know, some people are asked, is this a one and done, or do they anticipate this being revisited in 10 years? Who knows?
But you haven't done it before?
No,
right?
this
Okay.
was it was just adopted last year. So
Okay.
yeah.
And that's when I went to a conference session, that's why it was kind of a hot topic and all, everyone was asking. Because there wasn't even guidance on when we could hold the meetings, so we hold them during the meeting. And it was, yeah, you know, compiling your efficiencies to report it.
There we go.
The only, and I put in a lot of suggestions already, which are incorporated, but I don't know, the only other one might be, on page 20, under number 3, opportunities for increased transparency would be the video recording now. So I don't know if that got added. I know I mentioned in my changes, but I don't know if I saw that. Is it in there? Okay. Did it get, okay. I overlooked that. Okay.
Yeah, it's on page 5.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we're good. I'm overlooked it. Oh, there it is. Gotcha. Okay. I'm overlooked that change. Okay, good.
How do you want to do this? You just want us to volunteer our comments or whatever? Okay. This, item 6, the intergovernmental, agreements. And I went through the list and I'm aware of, a lot of these, Dan, but, one that seems to be missing that has been critical for us and, you know, on some of the other things that we've worked on is that agreement for the maintenance of stormwater management facilities between Park District and the village.
Yes.
And that one has saved us and you a lot of potential costs. So, you know, you might want to mention that.
Yeah, it's the Village of Lisle's, yeah, the IGA with, for the ponds and green trails.
Yeah.
What page you're referring to?
Yeah.
No.
Gosh, I thought that would have been in there, but you're right, Les. That's,
Yeah, you know, because, you know, those ponds are becoming a bit problematic and, you know, just the fact that, the village is responsible for removing the silt, anything below the surface. That's a cost you guys don't want to incur.
no.
So you know, and we don't want to either. So, you know, I just thought that would be, something to have in here. And let's see.
Page 5, bridge, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll eventually get, hopefully, we can be able to add, once it's formalized, we'll have an IGA, I don't know if it's an IGA, but an agreement with the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, because when that canopy is put in, then the existing agreement between BNSF and the Village of Lisle will terminate, and the Park District will enter into one with BNSF. So that can be added once that's presented and reviewed and authorized.
I just had a question, is triads, is that not an intergovernmental group? Do we have an agreement with them of any kind, or no, they're just a group of?
I believe they're listed somewhere in here. I can double check, but I know we think of them as a cooperative agreement with all of them. So they should be.
You know where they would be? I didn't see.
There
them.
okay, it's on page 11, number 8. Under the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, Naperville and Lisle Township Triad,
Oh,
partnerships or other interrelationships with nonprofits.
I was just looking for triad.
Yeah.
And I can't recall, did we list like sponsors for various, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's actually on page, goes from page 11 and most of page 12.
It just doesn't specify each one, it's just general. Okay.
Yeah. And that's where we added your suggestions on the 7 bridges and Central Park and
Yeah.
Lisle Fitness.
You know, on this, item 8, the partnerships, and other interrelationships with, nonprofits, you know, you do mention, green trails, but, you know, there's a couple of things in here. You know, the third bullet, publicity of, LPD and the Pathfinder. it's more than just publicity. We're passing on, messages to the homeowners. It's messaging or communications. And you guys have been very helpful in terms of writing articles for publication there that affect both of us, that the homeowners need to know about. And we're looking at about a third of the population of Lisle.
Sure.
Spring Trails. The other thing, you and Aaron have worked with us very well on, more than just homeowner encroachments, but the big thing that keeps hitting us are the drainage issues. And Aaron and I worked on a couple of them last year, got them resolved.
Okay.
So, that's something you're doing that I think ought to be disclosed.
That's your and your keep.
Right to.
How are you going to put that, are you going to put that, cooperative with homeowners?
Mhm. Yeah, we'll wordsmith a little bit. Yeah, communication of LPD challenges, opportunities, et cetera, collaboration with stormwater, homeowner stormwater remediation efforts. We do something with a former commissioner. Oh, Richter? Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, but yeah, he was with that too, though. Costello and Trustee Duffy. Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, there are, did a recent fundraiser just within the last week or so, raised, I'm assuming about $5,500 to purchase a couple other pieces of fitness equipment out there. They'll cover the cost of the equipment and shipping. They wanted a couple of pull-up bars, so.
I think overall it seems nice and comprehensive. And I may not be as attuned to all the particulars of content that should be covered, but it's informative actually, and, educational. I don't know, just for a moment, getting beyond just what's in the report. I don't know how it gets used. If it ends up like being on the Park District website where it's a guide of sorts that could be of interest to the community. So I know I'm getting off of the real point of just trying to get this ready for finalizing, but it's really nice, I think, to have all this information in one place. Even though, like you say, it's in staff heads, everybody knows what the Park District does when you're working in the Park District, and you have an idea of it when you're using the Park District. But it's a good document to have, I think.
Thank you.
Even though it's a lot of effort to put it together.
It is. I think that's the realization staff had is when this thing started to take shape. It's like, wow, there's quite a bit of things we're doing, and more that we don't remember even.
Yeah, well, that's good, and I did notice, the last item, this item 5, opportunities for savings, et cetera. We just completed our analysis of the program where we changed out all of the trail lights to LEDs. And that paid for itself in 2.5 years. And now we're saving about 11,000 a year on electric costs. That might be something you'd want to look into, and you'd have an item going under the opportunities for savings.
Yep. Unless there's anything else, which of course there could be, but I think what staff can do from here is incorporate this discussion into here and present it again in May and hopefully add to it a little more and then. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Sharon.
but I was looking for it. I can't remember if I read it or not when I previewed it. I think there's this, oh, yeah, partnerships. Dan, was there anything in here about even the role that you take in the advisory committee with the village, the bike and pedestrian committee?
Oh,
I think, are you an ex officio member, but you're still participant? You go to the meetings, I know, because
Yeah.
I'm there too, but I just wondered if that's not in here, is that something else that could be noted as
There is our.
as a partnership?
That's not an intergovernmental, that's no agreement, that's.
no, but I think it's an informal intergovernmental support.
Yeah.
And cooperation.
Yeah,
And when we are, we list anywhere in that cooperative.
Yeah, that's right in the front end, where we report on our membership with CSPAR, PDERMA, IPBC. List of shared services and partnerships.
I'm wondering if that couldn't be just a Susan's point, where the pedestrian bike would be, if there wasn't someplace where that would fit to the involvement, because it's more than just, what do you want to call it? It's more than just subscriptions, I mean, it's as a cooperative where, you know, the staff sit on boards and.
Yeah. We'll find a spot to slot that.
yeah, because it's a good exchange of information, you know, you give your perspectives from the park district, you help that committee understand, you know, a wider situation than they're just dealing with within the committee. So, yeah, maybe there are other situations like that too. The only other thing I would offer, if it's of interest, just from the background that I have in writing and editing materials, I just noticed things that I would offer as input, minor though it is, but just from a copy editing standpoint, there might be a few things that maybe there could just be some points of clarity or.
How about you and I get together and
Yeah, it wouldn't be changing content, but it would just more from like an objective view. I could just see little things to clean up if you're interested in making it, you know, even finer document.
of course.
But I think it's very good what's been done. It's very content rich. And it's a lot better than a lot of other information that I've seen in my life, you know, the first time I've seen it. So yeah, I can work with you just on finessing if you want.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then one more question that occurs to me. This board approves it when you've reached satisfaction with it, but then does it actually have to be approved or rated or anything by the body that you're sending this to, or it's just accepted?
As
You know.
far as we all know that this body approves it and submits it to DuPage County. And then
And it's.
who knows what they do with it from there.
Okay,
But I don't
But-
websites and where.
okay.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
No.
Well, I
Is
just,
that what it was report? Okay.
I ask it kind of out of interest of just knowing just how perfected, you know, does it need to be? Does it have to become an award, you know, winning document? But you still want it to represent
Sure.
yourselves in the most
And I
professional
like the
way.
idea of putting it on our website too, when it's finally adopted.
Can I include you putting together the report in the report?
Possibly. Oh. Does any,
We lost Jason.
Oh, he might have just taken his picture off.
I know, he did, yeah. Does anyone, does
There he is.
Jason or Terry have anything to add or comment on?
This is Commissioner Tapella. So it's I love reading through this. It's the only comment that I have. So I think that, the content, as you all have said, the content is extremely elaborate and rich. And I think that even though it, on the front end may seem like another step or, another to do, I think that it actually, now seeing it in print and seeing all the content and all the information, it's fantastic to think about, everything that's gone into forward thinking about collaboration and about efficiencies and about programs and opportunities. And I think it's really nice to have it in this nice tight bundle. And I love the idea of being able to use it, not just because it's something that we need to do, but because it's something that we should do and can be used for quick reference and promotion as well.
Commissioner Dombrowski, I would like to echo what Commissioner Tapella said, and uh, I just think too, to be able to put it on the website and allow the citizens of the town to be able to look at it. I think a lot of times people take for granted when they eat the cake, they don't understand sometimes what the baker is going through to give them the finished product. And I think this also gives a pretty good outline of a lot of the moving parts that are established in what happens that a lot of people don't see that the park district is doing in collaboration with other districts as well and everything else. So I think this is a great idea and very well done, by the way.
Thank you. It's absolutely a group effort. And as you can see, it's years in the making too. Okay. If there's nothing else, if it's okay, President Alpe, if there's no public comment. We're supposed to provide for public comment. There's also a requirement to conduct a survey after the meeting. So anyone in attendance, can collect email addresses and send a questionnaire after the fact if they had anything to comment on. But since there's nobody here, then this is it for now. So
Anyone like to submit your email?
the room is empty. So, okay, with this information, like I said, staff can go back and dial it in a little bit. And Susan, maybe we can get together before the next time and file off some of the rough edges and present it again in May. And of course, keep thinking between now and then, anything else that may come to mind. We'll go from there. And it may be, I don't know, depending on how it goes, it could be a very quick discussion next time. And then the last meeting can be as simple as just approving the final product and authorizing staff to file it at DuPage County.
I'd like to thank you. You did such a good comprehensive job of putting this together. And I think a lot of districts, that was kind of the discussions that I heard, especially more rural communities, were, having a hard time sitting even to know where to start and what to put together. And so I think we're fortunate that we have all of you guys on the knowledge basis. You have to kind of know what was there, and we have to back from my community.
Thank you.
That we didn't, but what I'm saying is that you made this committee job a lot easier, not having to sit here for hours and try to say things that we don't see.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to adjourn the Centennial Committee at 7, well, whatever. 7:33. We're still in open session. If doesn't want to stay at the meeting or leave.
I'll move to the
Yeah,
public section so that you have somebody in
Back
the
to the
audience
funeral.
for a while.
Watch your step too. Sorry about the cord. Good job.
We have
Thank you.
unfinished business, the community park, PNSF pedestrian canopy project. Additional contribution that was submitted in your packet. And which of my former board members used to say, somebody on this board used to say, not sexy, but it's gotta be done, this is one of those great things where you build a discovery playground or something, but unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, last sentence said it all right. Right.
And the village, like their design engineers gone kind of back, trying for it, so to speak, but see if there's anything they know.
That was one of the things that Public Works Director Elias and I talked about. There's a retaining wall that needs to be, but it's going to be removed and replaced to think, can we do without doing that? And they went out there and even consulted with the engineer and no, the reason that has to be removed and replaced is to avoid even greater cost by having to put the columns on the other side into the river and get even more in-depth stormwater permitting requirements. So yeah, it was reported that there was not a whole lot of value engineering that can be done.
Right. Is there any other discussion regarding this? Now, I would entertain a motion to approve a protected path canopy project contribution of $155,692.26.
Moved.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on this? Here, none, can I get a roll call vote? Dan?
Yes, Commissioner Wessel.
Aye.
Commissioner Hummel,
Aye.
Commissioner Dombrowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Tapella,
Aye.
President Alpeter.
Motion passes. Oh, no.
Considering the state of everything else, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. So there's that. New business, we have a resolution, authorizing an emergency for one utility van, an amount not to exceed $55,000. Does anyone move to adopt resolution 032124-02? A resolution ratifying and approving the emergency expenditure of funds without competitive bidding for the purchase of a fleet vehicle in the amount not to exceed $55,000.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Would, we would get some reimbursement from this though, right, with, Perderma?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Thanks for clarifying that.
Yep.
Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote?
Sure. Commissioner Hummel,
Hummel, aye.
Commissioner Wessel. Aye. Commissioner Dombrowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Tapella,
Aye.
President Alpeter.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, next up is the Sea Aquatic Park existing conditions analysis, as submitted. And I know there was some talk over, Dan had set up some updates. Did anybody have any further questions on the existing conditions analysis? No? Any other questions?
Is,
Is there any action we're to take?
no, I'm just looking for
Direction?
direction if there's,
Direction would be where you're going, reach out to Williams, correct?
yes, informally. They haven't, yeah, informally, yes.
You just need our direction to,
Well, and whether or not there's consensus with the board to work with them to just give us a proposal as long as it's within that budget amount. Or the alternative would be to issue a request for qualifications.
I think that, I mean, you have someone who's already worked there, who's been there since the beginning, not to mention that all the times that they have helped us, that we're not charged, they've been our go-to on that. I think it's most beneficial to me anyway. I would want to see you going and to have them create something, letting us know the existing conditions. I think they'd be best suited rather than somebody starting at ground zero and then that might have cost. Who doesn't know all the ins and outs, where they're gonna have to reinvent the wheel to get data in order to give us a conditions analysis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess, I'm sorry.
I was agreeing with Gary. Go.
I guess my question, how much experience does Williams have with like pools in general, not just Lisle? Do they do a lot of other parks?
Significant, yeah, they're the
Okay.
largest, the
Okay.
most popular one for pools and rec centers. It's, if I had to guess, probably half of them in the area are built by Williams.
Can I tell you that you go to conference, there's like a line of people just at their little vendor, like waiting to ask them questions and like, brainstorm with them, so. All right, does anyone have any other discussion, or is there consensus to move forward directing staff to work with Williams to get an existing conditions analysis
Proposal
proposal?
that would then be presented for next month for approval.
That's fine.
Speak up if anybody's
I
got-
don't know. Yeah, there are two of them.
No, I think you know-
Commissioner Dombrowski, so the proposal is what, just to do the assessment of the current aquatic sea lion park, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, and Williamson is very well renowned, and I know they also did the golfing area. So are we using them just because of familiarity, and we're just getting a proposal from them because they also drew and designed the original?
yes. Yeah, and
Okay.
they still align with the same MEP, with the same mechanical engineering firms and aquatic consultants. So they're still aligned with the same consultants that were were on board in 2002 and 3 when it was designed and constructed.
No, which is good. So no, I totally agree. So I was just, sorry, I just wanted to have a double check.
Thank you.
And I think you guys may remember, what was it last year that you had to collaborate with them, and we ultimately fixed our problem?
Oh, yeah, last off season with the link seals leaking and with the furnace, water heater boilers in the concession or the bathhouse. So yeah, they've all, and it's being redundant, but they're always at our beck and call.
All right, that sounds great. So
Thank
that
you.
is Staff direction.
Okay.
Staff reports as submitted. Anybody have any questions on staff reports?
Well, I can just say Superintendent Cerruti is not present tonight. Has a medical procedure being done tomorrow and he'll be out for 3 weeks. He'll be available hopefully on week 2 and 3 on a limited basis, but week 1 he is incapacitated, having back surgery. I think we all are.
I guess the only quick question on the staff reports, I asked about the graffiti, I think it was in the skate park, but in general, have we ever been, or the police ever been successful in catching any of the culprits, or is it always, no?
Not to our knowledge. I don't know if John, Jason, if you've ever heard they have,
Okay.
not to our knowledge.
Okay.
But just so the board knows, every time there is an incident of graffiti, the police are notified. They come out and look to verify whether or not they think it's gang related. A lot of it, if they think it is, a lot of it they believe is copycat type things, but either way, we are always contact the PD.
Right. These are reports. Officer reports, I got them. Treasurer.
All of our money is either FDIC or fully collateralized, so all the money is protected. Financially, it's a standard part of the year, not a whole lot of activity going on, other than we issued our bond in February. We did not open the golf course in February, though the weather was attractive to do so. We gave our course a little more chance to heal from the use of last year, and a couple of days ago, we were $21,000 ahead of last year's pace. So the course is getting used very well. But everything else is pretty much standard code, nothing too much to report on.
Any other commissioners have a report?
It's been a quiet month.
No, I had a quick question on the treasury report. I know I asked staff, I know in the treasury report you referenced you met with about potential future bond issuance. And I know it'd be like for the pool or other projects possibly. Do you have like a rough estimate of what type of dollar amounts are we talking, like non-referendum amount or referendum amount?
I was just looking for options, Tom, of what we have available. If you guys, whatever you guys are projecting, I have no idea. That if you want to do 1825, that gets knocked down or something like that. If we have to do a renovation of the pool, or if it's another major project, I'm just trying to figure out what our options are. If I need to get money to move projects up or not. So it's just a more ask questions, see what's available for us. Do we refund the bonds that we have, refinance them and stretch them out longer to create cap space? So it's not to issue bonds, it's just to know what's available. So when you guys ask me, I'm prepared and not have to say, oh, can I get back to you? I gotta go talk to financing also. I'm just trying to stay ahead of you guys on potential asking of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would probably, it would probably be unlikely we would want to refinance though, because interest rates are a lot higher than they.
I do
yeah, yeah.
not want to refinance those
Yeah.
two if I
Yeah.
don't have to, but depending on what the board wants and how we gotta pay for things, we moved $1 million to capital. And
Mhm.
we're trying to build up a capital reserve to build these capital projects, potentially maybe without bonds, or at least save the interest to the community. So it's just, it's just testing the waters to see what's options are out there. And like I said, it was very early conversations because I was just finishing the bond that we had. So I'm just trying to find out what we have available in case you decide to say, hey, I want to go build this. And if that's the case, I gotta be saying, yeah, I can get you the bullets to do that and my gun to, to make that happen or not. So it's more for my own education to stay ahead of where I think you guys might or might not go.
Now, the only thing I'll add is I know we had, Meadows had Easter egg hunt in Kingston Park and that went well. So I know a lot of people, a lot of families were out there, enjoyed it. And it was good to see the signs to for Sea Lion Aquatic Park for hiring. So it's good to have those signs. Helps.
Thank you.
Heard them now.
Yeah.
Any other commissioners have anything else? I can turn around, you guys can only see me.
I can do that too.
All right. Having done, I will entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
There a second?
Second,
Can I get a roll call vote?
Because they're way to vote on them separately. Or, okay. So I rather
if
vote,
you
on
want.
them yeah, because the reason I voted against the meeting agenda tonight is because under here, after I was doing some research this past month, but I'm just reason why gonna vote against going into closed session. Yeah, at least for one section, because under the Park District Code, board members may be removed when they neglect to perform their duties of his or her office and to fail to attend meetings of the park board for a certain length of time that is fixed by ordinance, which is under statute 70 ILCS 1205. The statute allows for removal for fail to attend. The statute does not allow removal for the means of attendance. It allows for removal for being absent. The commissioner was not absent when participating remotely. The Park District does not have the statutory authority to remove an elected official due to type of attendance, only due to absence. Nothing more is authorized by statute. So as far as I'm concerned, like as far in my interpretation, there's no authority to remove by that. So therefore, there's no statutory exemption to go into a closed meeting for that topic. That's.
You want,
Well, okay, so there's a first and a second
Second.
to go to closed session.
to be clear, what you should do when we go into closed session, it's read it out, a closed session pursuant to Open Meetings Act, Section 2C1. Yeah.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion, go into closed session meeting consideration of section 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body.
I'll make,
Sir,
I'm so moved on that one.
there a second?
Second.
Can I get a roll? Is there any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Sure. Commissioner Hummel,
Aye.
Commissioner Wessel. Aye. Commissioner Dombrowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Tapella,
aye.
President Alpeter.
Aye. All right. Do you have us offline now?
No, because there's a second.
Well, we're gonna do two separate closed sessions is what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna come back into open, I'm gonna read this again, this is what I'm just asking. Right?
Well, you could go and
So you
do,
want me to do it two
well, yeah,
separate?
two separate votes, but you could go, if it passes, you could do one session. I don't know, you could probably explain it better.
I think this way
Yeah.
is more succinct.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, vote on the two separate and assuming it passes or doesn't pass, you just go into one closed session. So, yeah.
I think I should go into two closed sessions. I'll also entertain a motion to go into closed session for consideration of section 2, subsection C3, section of a person, selection of a person to fill a public office as defined in this act, including a vacancy in a public office. When the public body is given the power to appoint under law or ordinance, or the discipline, performance, or removal of the occupant of a public office, and the public body is given power to remove the occupant under law or ordinance.
Is there a motion?
So we're just moving to just discuss, right?
Correct.
Okay, so moved.
So do we, what, okay. Is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Topella, second.
Is there any discussion? I actually have discussion. So this is the section that we are talking about it in, not under our policy.
No, it is under the park district's policy. Admittedly, that may be discussed in closed session, but it's likely out of date. The vernacular used in that when it was put in is maybe not be applicable today.
So what I've done, I think I was really opposite the exact verbiage that we had. That's fine. Okay, so now we are, roll call vote, please.
Sure. Commissioner Wessel,
Aye.
Commissioner Topella,
Aye.
Commissioner Dombrowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Hummel,
No,
President Alpeter.
Aye. All right, we're in
Okay.
closed session.
We are now back in open. Because you don't motion into open.
Nope. So
So we're back into motion. I will,
we just, I'm sorry, but parliamentary.
I need a roll call vote, please.
We're back into open session at 8:23. Again, Commissioner Hummel,
aye.
Here.
Commissioner
Or here.
Wessel,
Here.
Commissioner Topella,
Here.
Commissioner Dombrowski,
Commissioner Dombrowski present.
and President Alpeter.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. We're out of closed session. I will now entertain a motion.
We open up the doors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And you're, okay, that's right. You didn't shut it off. Yeah. I will entertain a motion to authorize a food and beverage license agreement between the Lisle Park District and the Aguirre Family Hospitality LLC as discussed and in substantially the same form as presented in the request for proposals, subject to final Park District attorney review and approval and receipt of signed.
So moved.
Second.
Give it to
Oh,
Terry,
to Terry.
yeah, because those two are on the committee.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
Can I, is there any comment? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote?
Commissioner Hummel,
Aye.
Commissioner Topella,
Aye.
Commissioner Dombrowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Wessel,
Aye.
President Alpeter.
No. Motion passes. All right, with the in consideration of section 2, subsection 3C, no action is taken, discussion ensued. And the board discussed revisiting the policy possibly in the future. Is that fine?
Yep.
Is everybody fine with that? Me saying that? Or do we want to say it's a non-action issue? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any discussion? There is, I'll kick your butts. Okay, Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Wessel,
Aye.
Commissioner Dabrowski,
Aye.
Mayor Tapella,
Aye.
Commissioner Hummel,
Aye.
President Alpeter.
Aye, motion passes. We are adjourned at 8:26.
Perfect.